Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Real Tree, Muddy Outdoors, Hoyt Archery, Fuse Accessories, Frigid Forage, Scott Archery, Cabela's, Trophy Rock, Night and Hail Game Calls, TrailCamPro.com, Bloodsport Arrows, Rocket Broadheads, and Nikon.
Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. First off, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Every year at this time, Pastor Paul puts together a Christmas special on the Without Excuse Ministry segment of the website. And I'd like to direct your attention to that. Please take a few minutes and click on the link at the bottom right corner of the player and take a look at Pastor Paul's special. You know, we're real adamant here about when we celebrate Christmas, we're really celebrating the birth of Christ. You know, we enjoy the family and the presents and all of that, but we always want to keep the season in perspective and really focus on what it's all about. So if you have a few minutes, please check that out. Now I want to talk about our episode today. We've decided to call this episode Crusty Chronicles. And it's a theme that runs through the whole episode, and it starts with the first hunt, which was our daughter Jordan about a week ago hunting a buck that we had nicknamed Crusty 2.
Today, Saturday, December 15th, is the last weekend of the Iowa gun season, and we're going back to the same blind that I was in last weekend. We saw a lot of bucks there, and hopefully some of them will come out again tonight.
Just wait a little bit.
Can I go?
Yeah. Stop until he stops.
That was the buck we came in here to hunt. He's one that they called Crusty 2, and he's been around here for a while. I think I made a pretty good hit on him. It might have been a little far back. We're gonna wait till it's dark, and then we're gonna sneak out of here, and we'll come back in a few hours and get him. We're back at the spot where we last saw the buck. It's been about 6.5 hours, so we're gonna pick up the blood trail from here. We've been looking for some blood for quite a while. We haven't found any at all. For some reason he's not bleeding, and it makes it really hard to find him in the dark if there's no blood. So we're gonna come back tomorrow morning and look for him again.
We're back at the same spot where we were looking last night. It's just so much easier to find a deer in the daylight. We were hoping we could find blood last night, but the deer just did not bleed. I misjudged a little bit where he went in. He was further down this trail before he turned and headed off to the left. So we're going to start there and see if we can find blood. My guess is that we won't, because we looked quite a bit last night. But with this daylight, I mean, we can see quite a ways underneath that brush, so we should be able to find this deer pretty easy. He's got to be dead. I mean, he took a really hard hit. I'm surprised that we didn't stumble into him last night, but this is what we've got to work with. It was fairly cool last night, so the deer should be okay, and we're gonna go get him. There's a trail right here that goes right past that bed. A lot of times when they're hit, if they aren't spooked, they'll stick to the trails because it's just easier going. A lot of times you can walk out a trail a ways and look for blood and go back and walk on another one. And eventually you'll find the one that they took. So I'm just going to stay on this one a little ways and see if I can find a drop down here someplace to indicate this was the way that he went. And that's my guess.
Walked right past him last night. We were probably 15 feet away, but in the dark we couldn't see anything. This has been a great season for me. I shot my biggest buck back in youth season in September and my oldest buck in December.
Well, that was an exciting hunt that we had with Jordan for a buck that had been on this farm for a really long time. And that was Krusty too. And at the end of the episode, I'll talk a little bit more about really why we love to hunt these old bucks. But next I want to get to the next chapter of the Krusty Chronicles, and that's a hunt that took place last week also with Bill Prucha, and that's Scott Prucha's dad. And Bill is pretty much the definition of Krusty in my mind. He's modeled for me for many years. He's a great friend. We love Bill. He's perfect just the way he is. So Scott and Bill are on a hunt trying to find a buck for Bill to shoot. He hasn't killed a buck in 20 years, and he goes every year. He's always helping the grandchildren and the children to kill their bucks. So this is a chance for Scott to pay back Bill for all the many years that he's helped him.
Well, we just got done with our morning hunt. We were in a stand 25 yards from here. My dad's back down. I didn't think he was going to come back down, but he came back down. I guess he wants to get a deer. So it'll be interesting to see what's on these 50 pictures here in the last 5 or 6 days. When I pulled this camera a week ago, it was interesting because these scrapes were still getting hit. I mean, actively by like a bunch of different bucks. I don't know, there's still a little rutting activity going on, you know, even this late. What is it, December 14th today? So we'll see. Hopefully we can get my dad on a nice buck tonight. I just pulled that camera here and just checking this food plot quickly, and they are browsing these things like crazy. Big tracks in here. Most of the turnips are like sawed in half. It looks like a bunch of white circles all over the place here, so they're pounding this. This gives me a lot of promise. I will see what's going on that camera, but who knows? We might have to come back here tonight if something good shows up, because they've been hitting this hard in the last 4 or 5 days. So, oh, there's Blanco on the 10th at 4 o'clock. Working the scrape. 12th, here's Blanco again. 3:30 in the afternoon. Dad, come here. Okay. Check this out. Here's that Blanco deer. 11th, now he's back on the 12th at 3:30. We have to hunt. Look, there he is again. Same day. This was yesterday at 3:16. So 3 of the last 4 days that deer's been in the turnips. That's crazy. Like, and it's always early. I mean, plenty of daylight. I wonder if we should see if we can get someone else to run camera for you tonight.
Well, nah, I just soon have you. This is a father and son thing.
I know, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not great on the camera, but
I'd take a chance on you.
We have to hunt there tonight. You don't get a pattern like this on a deer very often. That settles it.
Great. Sounds like a plan.
It's a second shotgun season in Iowa, the second weekend. We're going out this afternoon where we were this morning. We hunted over a little turnip spot, and when we left, we pulled the camera, and there was a couple of shooters on there. One is the Blanco buck, and we're just hoping that maybe he'll come in this afternoon.
I'm doing an interview. We hunted this plot this morning. When I pulled the camera on our way out, Blanco was in here 3 of the last 4 days. Flip Flop was in here 1 day. Either one of those deer, my dad would be happy to shoot. So, we've had 1 doe fawn out here. Actually, it was a little buck fawn. The arrival almost every day has been between 3:30 and 4:30 of Blanco. So, it's about 2:40 right now. We've got about 45 minutes. And then it's prime time. So, we hope he shows up tonight. We get a crack at him. Nice job. That's Blanco. Nice job. Thank you. I heard him grunting down there. Yeah. That was awesome. Nice job, buddy. I'm proud of you.
We were sitting here, and things were really kind of slow. Then about 10 minutes ago, a little forkhorn came from the right. Started eating turnips here, and shortly after that, I noticed one down to the left, a doe. Big doe came out and wandered around. And all of a sudden, they came tearing down the path, and here comes this big buck here. The big buck chasing him over here. He stopped in the middle of the turnips, which is probably a mistake, because I think he's dead.
Congratulations, nice shot. That's awesome.
On the way down, I was telling Scott, it's probably been 20, 25 years since I shot a buck. The thing is, I've been going out with the grandkids and letting them shoot all the deer, you know. It's kind of fun, though, but I guess my droughts over. It's the biggest buck I ever shot. I never got anything bigger than an 8-pointer before.
What do you say we go look at it?
What?
Let's go get him.
Kind of a slow night tonight. We had a doe earlier for 40 minutes eating turnips. And then about a half hour before quitting, we had a forkhorn come on. He was eating turnips, and then there was a couple does down toward the road. All of a sudden, they made a beeline up here. They were really come tearing through here, and here comes this big buck chasing them down there. And the does went off into the brush, but he made a fatal mistake. He stopped out in the open. I may be getting old, but I can still use a gun.
Congratulations, Bill. That's an awesome buck, an old deer that Scott had a lot of history with on the farm. So now we're going to jump into this whole history of these bucks that we call Krusty. This is the original one. This is Krusty 1, and he was on the farm, we hunted him in 2010 and 2011. The thing we liked about Krusty, and the reason he kind of got under our skin, was just his age. He had a big body, but more than that, he was just a grouchy old buck that had lived here for a really long time. And bucks like that, I mean, they become trophies. They become kind of part of the fabric of the farm, and we target those deer almost as aggressively as we do the ones with the big antlers. So Krusty 1 was really high on the hit list in 2010 and 2011. 2010 we had 3 encounters with him. The first one was in early November. He came to a grunt call. We just couldn't get the shot on him. The second encounter came in later November, and he just never came within bow range. And third, Jared Mills had a chance at him during the late season on the same piece of property and just couldn't get his gun in place in time to get a shot at him. So 2010 came and went, and Krusty was still alive and on the farm. In 2011, I believe we had 2 chances at him in 2011. Frank Miniter was hunting here, and Frank had a chance at him in early November as Krusty came into a decoy. He just missed the buck. Later in the season, Mike Sawyer had him too at about 20 yards and just couldn't get a shot. So Krusty was living a charmed life. Pretty aggressive deer. It seemed like we could call him in and we could get him to come to decoys and that sort of thing. But for whatever reason, we just fell in love with Krusty. Unfortunately, we found him dead during the spring of 2012 while turkey hunting. So that's what happened to Krusty 1. So of course it was easy for us to come up with a quick nickname for this other buck that we nicknamed Krusty 2, because he had a very similar traits to Krusty 1. He was all over the place. We had lots of pictures of him. He came by quite a bit from the tree stands and the blinds. So he was also high on our hit list. He was an old deer. He didn't have big antlers, just like Krusty 1, but he was still a prized trophy. So it was pretty exciting when finally we had the chance to connect with Krusty 2 with Jordan's hunt. She may not have appreciated the history we had with the deer, but Greg and I knew right away when Krusty 2 hit the ground that we'd done something special. Well, I appreciate you joining us this week. Like I said earlier, I hope you have a great Christmas, and we'll see you right back here again next week for the next episode of Midwest Whitetail. And remember to always dream big.
You haven't shot a buck for over 20 years, right? You're ready to shoot that little one this morning. And I stopped you.
I was going to take him out of the herd.
And it worked out perfect. It's a buck we call Blanco. He came in grunting, chasing those does.